Any other question? Swali lingine? Maji niko sawa?
Madam, I have a question.
Ask Florence.
There's an employee sometimes back alikuanga anakuja kazi late like saa 3 na watu wanafaa waingie 7. Alikuwa anakuja saa 3 watu wanaingia 7. Saa 3 to an extent we thought alikuwa na date boss. Sasa tulisema hapana, hii sasa imekuwa worse. Wacha we inquire udaku maneno. Sasa mimi nikamwendea nikamuuliza, sasa why is it that tunakujanga saa 3 na sisi tunakuja saa 1? Akatoa machozi. Nikasema we hapa nikubaya. Nikamwambia sawa, pole my dear sister, kama nimekuuliza kwa ubaya, we shall talk about it. Ndo there's a day sasa alikuja saa 3 akaandikiwa barua na HR akamwambia, you've been coming very late, you are not productive, we are not even seeing your work because you're coming at 9 and you leave at around 4, so we are laying you off. So before amalize, one of yani a stranger tu alikuja kwa ofisi akasema, this lady babake amekuwa kigonjeka na in the morning, very early in the morning, anachukuanga babake anampeleka OC ndio akuje kazini. So we felt so, as in tulimuonea huruma as fellow employees. Tukasema, hey, you've been going through this na haujakuwa ukiambia HR ama any other person mwenye ako in charge of this group, this section yetu. Umekuwa tukinyamaza. Akasema yeye ni mtu hajajua ku open up maneno. So in an organization, madam, mtu kama this lady, a leader atajuaje that we have employees who are emotionally suffering, but they don't want to share out and they need help? How is a leader connected? Because you see, as a leader ulisema ni ku do something. Yes, kindly make me understand.
Now, sasa alifutwa kazi, tuanzie hapo. Alifutwa kazi?
Hakufutwa kazi na alikuwa promoted because waliona very early in the morning anarauka anapeleka babake hospitali, amwache huko akuje kazini afanye kazi, but hatukuwa tunaona anafanya kazi because sisi tuliconcentrate kwa kukuja kwake late rather than kuona kitu yenye ana produce in between. Yeah.
That's a good HR. That's a good HR. That's a good company. Now, how will you be able to know that your employee is emotionally unstable? That is now where the informal group comes in. The informal, because there are some people who are introverts by nature. There are some people who don't like sharing their issues just like that. And but even if they don't like sharing their issues, remember, in organizational structure, it does not allow you to be able to share things which is not part related to the work. That is according to the formal structure of the organization. But the informal structure allows you. That's why we say, as a leader, you need to have, you are not only having the skills or the experience in terms of the leadership, but also you have the leadership skills in you. And one of it is that you have the ability to command people to follow. You have the ability to persuade people. You have ability to listen. You have ability to be able to relate with people. You have ability to ensure that you create a favorable working environment to all employees. So once you have an informal group, those motionnaire groups, you see like what that person had done, the other stranger, that's a motionnaire. That's a motionnaire. You're going to term it as an informal. Yes.
Motionnaire is a informal group, madam.
Yes, an informal group. Haiko kwa structure yote ya organization. Ni wewe ikae hapo. It's because human beings, we are naturally social. Therefore, we need to an avenue where we can go to talk without being judged. And there, where place we're going to talk without being judged is in an informal environment. So in an informal group, once we discuss that, when you take that issues now to the HR now can be able to know how to use his or her skills in leadership and in management now to integrate or to ensure he brings up the favorable working environment. Now that HR did a very good job by promoting this person, by ensuring, number one, I recognize the effort of this person in terms of the work. Number two, aliona the dedication of this person towards the company. That is the reason for her promotion. So you're in informal too, in informal group too, informal setup. So Moshene is very important. We have someone by name Mary Gashie. Sijamuona of late, sama sijamuona kwa class. Mary?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Welcome to our class.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are new to our class?
Yes.
You have joined today?
Yeah.
See, now I keep track of my students. I know who are my students. Now, welcome back. We are in topic number, Waziri, you are in topic number what? Waziri, welcome.
Madam, sorry, bundles zangu zilisha. I always have bad luck, but today I won't allow it.
Mary, so while you are away, Florence, wait, we are welcoming our new student colleague. Mary, we want to say welcome. In this class, we have a president and we have a deputy, and it's just like in real life, the Ruto and Gachagua. So if you look at them, you've looked at us. I think we don't have to tell you who is the president and deputy. With time, you'll be able to know.
And in this class,
you see already that he's trying to talk now, so you will find out.
Okay, thank you, Waziri.
Thank you. Oh, Mary, welcome. So, madam.
Yes.
See how Gachagua behaves, Mwalimu. When Ruto speaks, akasahau kumwambia ongea.
So, madam.
Yes.
My bundles zilikuwa zimeisha nikapurchase another one. Tulifika mahali ulikuwa unasema that group zetu za Moshene, yes, it is not allowed in an organization.
No, it's allowed.
Okay.
It's allowed. It's allowed.
It is allowed.
Yes, it's allowed.
Okay.
Yes.
And according to the way we were judging the lady based on the time alikuwa na report, tukasahau that she's supposed to be productive. And then we also complained again, how comes she was reporting at work at 9 and tena after investigation from HR, tena akapandishwa cheo akakuwa above us. Is that not discrimination in an organization, madam?
No, it is not discrimination. You see, on promotion, we're going to look at I think it is topic number 8. Topic number 8, we're going to look at the promotion. We're going to look at how on the basis for promotion, what we're going to look at when we talk about the promotion. You can also, number one, you can look at the performance of that person. Number two, on the traits of the person. You can be promoted based on what you output. Number two, you can be promoted based on the leadership skills that are in you, on the traits. From the HR perspective, this person is very responsible. If he can wake up early in the morning and go take the daddy to the hospital and then come back to the work and without anyone noticing what is happening, meaning hajaleta hiyo mood swing kwa kazi, is very stable. She's very stable. Despite the challenges she's facing, she can put up another face and cover up and continue. That is an excellent performance. Actually, kama hamngeambiwa hivyo hamngewajua. My network is breaking. Sorry. Well, maybe cables. Which I think I have stable network. Yeah, my bars are okay now. I'm saying now it was promoted because despite all that, maybe. Thank you. Despite all that, she was able to put up another face when she comes to the work and tries to forget the experience at home or what she is going through and work effectively. That person is very effective. So the stability of the emotions are the ones which have made that person to be promoted. Because if she can be able to handle that emotion at that particular level, at a lower level, that means even at a higher level, he can or she can be able to understand an employee when she fails. She can be able to read the emotion of a person when he's not in a good state. And she can be able to handle issues even when they are at force. That's why she was promoted. Because promotion,
that's good.
The more authority you have, the more responsible you're supposed to be. So you said you can delegate authority.
Thank you, madam. I've understood now.
Perfect. Okay. Any questions?
Madam.
Yes, please.
Thank you. I have now understood why she was promoted. At first, I thought, oh, the HR is blah, 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 and this and that. Maybe she's a side chick to HR, oh, blah, 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 but thanks.
Yeah, let's continue. Mary, we are looking at a topic known as the leading as function of management. Na tunaangalia part inaitwa delegation or authority, responsibility, and accountability. So we have looked about the delegation. I say delegation. This is where you part of your authority to a subordinate or to another person, so that about to concentrate on something else. And we have said that on authority, on our delegation, we have the process of delegation. Number one, you assign duties first. And then after assigning duties, you grant the authority to a person whom you have assigned those duties. And from that, you now give responsibility. You allow that person to be accountable for what you have given that person. Then you looked at the authority, and they said the authority is the power to command, or the power to make person follow or do according to what you are saying. And authority, they say you can go to delegate authority, but you can never delegate responsibility. So on the delegation, we say you can have different types of delegation. Customer can have either general or specific delegation, to formal or informal delegation, to top to bottom or bottom to top delegation, and last to lateral delegation. Then we looked at the barriers to effective delegation. What can make us not to be able to delegate? And say you have the barriers either to the superior, the person who is giving the authority, who is delegating the authority, or the delegator. Then you can have the barriers which are related to the subordinate. And last, you can have the barriers which are related to the organization. Maybe you can continue by looking at the ways to overcome barriers to delegation. How can we be able to overcome the barriers? For example, one of the barriers related to the superior is whereby they do not want to, they want to work personally, they don't want to delegate because they feel that the other person is not competent enough. They may feel insecurity because maybe in their office they have been doing malicious activities, and therefore they feel they don't want to be exposed, because when you have delegated, the other person is able to perform the duties that you are doing, and therefore maybe you can be exposed. So sometimes they also feel that they want you to recognize them them as the leaders. They have to, you want to maintain, you want to retain the powers as a leader. So you want them to watambue that they are surely the leaders. Then their willingness, maybe the standard of control, they are not perfect, so that they may fail to give out the power. Then the personal factor, some people, they don't know how to delegate. They want to do everything for their own, with their own, to their own, for themselves. So in that aspect, it becomes very difficult. Some barriers which are related to the subordinate, sometimes a subordinate may feel that he is not competent enough, a lack of confidence from the subordinate to accept delegated authority. Some other people may fear, they don't want to make mistakes, they don't want to be laughed at, they don't want to make an environment which is quiver to them, so they don't accept the delegated authority. Others may say they don't have incentive, enough incentive, and from that, they may lack to take up the delegated authority. Others, they may not have enough resources. They may be willing to take up delegated authority, the authority, but we don't have enough resources. Either for the convenience purpose, it is not convenient for them to be able to take up the delegated authority. So some is part of the barriers to the organization. Say maybe the size of the organization. If you have a very small organization, then there's no need for a delegated how to delegate authorities, or sometimes the culture of the organization, they have never been the people have never delegated authority. So the culture itself is that when what you have been assigned is what you're going to do. Then in terms of the company norms, for example, there's a company which is centralized, which is decentralized. So if it's centralized, then you do not accept delegated authorities and all that. So I'll look at how now do we be able to overcome all those barriers from the person, from the personal, from the organization, and also for the person who is giving out the delegation. Now, ways to overcome. Number one of the way about to overcome delegated authority is to accept the need for delegation, be it from the subordinates, be it from the organization, be it from the management. You need to know, you need to accept, you need to believe that delegation works. And therefore, once they believe in that, they can be able to give out, they can be able to encourage, or they can be able to motivate people to be able to be doing delegation. Number two is creating confidence in subordinates. How do you create confidence? By ensuring you encourage them, by motivating the subordinates, by showing equally, you don't show favorism, or by treating everyone equally. In that aspect, you will be able to be showing, encouraging people, or encouraging confidence, especially among the subordinate, by also involving them when you're making decision. Remember, there was a time I told you to go and research on the MBO, management by objective. And so when we normally practice a management by objective, employees can be able to obtain confidence, able to get confidence. Remember, management by objectives, whereby the management allows subordinate to set up their standards, and then they use the same standard to judge their performance. For example, the way I started the first time, I will use the management by objective. I allowed you to say how many classes are supposed to take one unit, one topic, and then I'm going to use the same standard that you set for me to be able to judge the performance. So that is management by objective. So by involving the subordinates in making decision, involving them in setting the goals, setting the standards, also instill confidence among them, the subordinate. Next, about to overcome these barriers by communicating. You ensure that there's a favorable communication line. There's a clear communication direction. For example, you know communication is flowing from one person to another, from person A, from level A to level 2. In that aspect, people can be able to know that when every time they are facing challenges, they can speak up, they can talk, they can be able to have a way of airing their views. So by ensuring that you have very good communication, then it's another barrier of reducing, ensuring that you eliminate delegation barriers. Then I think about motivation. Motivation, you can either motivate by incentives, you can motivate by word of mouth. By motivation is whereby you're encouraging people to be able to take up their roles, to take up the things that they have been delegated, and don't fear their authority which has been delegated to them. Nothing's about to have effective system of control. By having an effective system of control is whereby you as a management, you ensure that you instill a good internal control system. By doing that, you're going to eliminate corruption. By eliminating corruption, you're going to ensure that the manager do not fear delegating due to insecurities, because by that time, they're going to have done things on the right path. That is about by choosing the right person for the right job. When you have you select the person based on the qualification, based on the experience, based on what they are doing and what they know best, then it's going to be very easy for that person. For example, if you are in accounting department and then the accounting manager wants to delegate part of the accounting job, he cannot be able to delegate that job to an HR. Therefore, that will not, yes, it will be delegation, but it will not be an effective delegation. And most likely, the HR will not go to fear in taking up the delegated authority. But once he delegates that authority to a person who is still in a finance department, then it's going to be very easy, because that is the right person who has been given the right task to take up the right delegated authority. By giving the freedom to subordinates, where the management or the organization allows management or allows the subordinate to be able to be treated with respect. So when you have taken the delegated authority, you are treated with respect. Even if you have not taken up with those delegated authority, you are treated fairly, you are given the freedom, you are treated equally. In that aspect, it's going to be very difficult when someone assigns duties and then give you the authority. It will be very, very difficult for you to be able to not to take up those delegated authority. Then you have the clarity of task, whereby you specify exactly, yes, you have delegated, what exactly am I going to do? In what limits, up to what time, up to what point am I going to perform the task? So when you have a clear cut of the specific task I'm going to work on, then it's going to be very, very easy, because even for the subordinates, they can be able to understand clearly that when I'm given this task, it is up to this limit. I don't need to extend. I don't need to interfere. I don't need to go beyond what has been assigned for me to do. So once you have a clear cut of the task, then it can go to be very easy for you to be able to accept the authority delegated. Then you can have the match job with the ability of the performance. This is almost similar to what we call the right person of the right job, whereby you take up what you assign the duties according to the specification of the job or specification of the qualification of a person. Then lastly, we can talk about you monitor the critical deviation. The deviation is whereby you have either gone beyond the set standard or below the set standard. When you have deviated, when you monitor what from what you are set the standard and what I have achieved. If there's only variation, if it's favorable, then you encourage. If you give the incentive. If it's adverse, then you encourage. So in that aspect, when you monitor the deviation, then you're going to ensure that you reduce the deviation, encourage and motivate the person, and you are going to accept any other time you have been going to be given the authority to be delegated to you. Mpaka hapo tuko sawa? Up to there we are okay? Mary, uko sawa?
I'm following. I'm following.
You have the notes, I hope so. Do you?
No, no.
Okay, Waziri will sort you out. Waziri is our class president. Will sort you out. We'll resend the notes to you.
So.
Waziri?
Okay, Mercy, please, you will inbox me. Eh? That is an order from Mwalimu. I have to follow.
That is
I will.
We are practicing delegation. And one way of,
yes.
we have said one way of accepting and reducing.
Akisahau.
Hey,
Akisahau.
unasikia huyo?
Akisahau Florence hapo.
Mimi niko busy.
Tumesema Florence hizi, we don't, the one way of reducing ways of eliminating delegation is communication. And we have communicated to you. We have given you a clear cut.
And madam.
Yes.
Is there exemptions to this delegation?
Yeah, they are.
Yes, I can tell manager I'm busy.
Busy is not an exemption.
Okay.
Not an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the centralization. Someone is calling me. Let me take care of this call and then I call you back.
Florence.
Yes.